Well, hi there, back again. I've decided, as always in these weird and wonderful projects of mine, that I'm replacing all of this crap. It served its purpose. It's been a fantastic, it was a fantastic idea if you're only cutting once or twice a day or something like this, but this thing is now going flat out all the time. We don't have, it's unusual for it not to be working all day every day. And for a so-called hobby myplasm driven CNC, boy oh boy does this thing make money. It is just like having another guy in the workshop, which is great. So I need to get rid of this. It is absolutely shit high. It is full, it is clogged, it's served its purpose and it's done its time. This is 3 years old now, and to think that it's still more or less in one piece is quite remarkable. So I'm going to go and do the conventional pyramid, triangle, V, whatever you want to call it, veins, so that you can see what's occurring. I'm going to cut some out. I've already cut some out, obviously. I'm geared up. I still haven't got the electronics figured out for the magnetic breakout yet, but I promise I will, and I will do a video on it. Wiring's here. It's just waiting for me to pull my finger out my ass and get it done. So, yep, we're this far with this, and if you just come around here, take you on another Doom walk, for those of you that remember Doom. That's what I'm doing. I'm cutting it out like that, so there are going to be 30 of those. If I just move this stuff out of the way a second. It's probably quite hot actually. Yep, still hot. So here are the individual bits. There we go. So that's going to be it's going to stand up like that. It's going to locate in these bottom bars here. Ooh. There we go. So locating these bottom bars. So that slot there will mate up to this slot, and the next one to that one as well. I'm still going to use the same. Doom walk. I'm still going to use the same system. So if we look at this, I'm square onto the table here, and you can see they go off at an angle like that. That is to prevent. Obviously, the majority of cuts on this is y-axis, x-axis cuts, and you're going to end up just slicing right through the veins at some point. It will happen. That's why this was put on the piss, as it were. You can see how much by here. And the other thing that is noteworthy, I guess, is one of the cuts recently just took out the edge of one of these. Where was it? Here. So you can see that if you get a square cut on that, you are going to lose the tops of those little triangle pyramids quite readily. So I thought what I'd do, I just tripped over the welder. So I thought what I'd do is just show you the machine cutting those out, and I'll stop yabbering, and then you'll be able to see exactly how this bad boy does it. Bear with me if you want to fast forward through it, and by all means you can, because I've got another little bit of goodie at the end of this to share with you. So in the meantime, let's let the myplasm driver do its business. That's what it's going to cut. You can see I've nested it a little bit just to make it as efficient as possible. Only reason I'm using this 6mm flat is that I had it lying around in the rack over there, and it's been there for about, I don't know, 3 years. So in 3 years I've used it for absolutely sod all. So I'm going to use it for this. Why not? So without further ado, let's watch it cut this out. There's an interesting thing which I'll talk about afterwards to show you about the cuts as well anyway. So here we go. Okay, so I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll shut off as much noise as we can. So there we go. That's that one shut off. Let's doom walk to the chiller. Let that one off. Okay. So what we've got here is something that SheetCam has got as a feature, which is a brilliant little feature. What it does is allows you to put tabs. You'd have seen the plasma start and stop, and you've got these little tabs here and here. When you're operating on, or when you're cutting out flat, in particular long lengths of flat or long lengths of anything, it is super important to make sure that you have got tabs in, in your cuts to help hold it together. Otherwise, it will warp and bend and do all kinds of nastiness. So I'm just going to go and turn the radio off a minute. Bear with us. Okay, now we're back to it. Yeah, so you can see the little tabs, and you'll see that what happens if those tabs weren't there. I don't know whether you can see it, but you can see that that gap gets wider and wider there until it gets to the next tab. Now, if you imagine that being multiplied throughout the entire piece, or the two pieces, on smaller bits of material, it's probably worse for thicker bits of material, but you can imagine that it's just going to go pear-shaped all over the place. So that's what I do. I use tabs to help hold it together. We also do it on the tube cutter as well. We leave tabs. I won't be able to show you because we haven't got any, but we leave tabs just to stop it from warping and bending all kinds of horrible shapes. And in SheetCam itself, it's really, really straightforward. I don't know whether you'll be able to see this because I'm just rubbish at this sort of thing. But those little blue marks there, they are tabs. So up here, you have there, you see it says edit tabs. So if you go to your, open your cut layer and go to cut path, and then down here you will have holding tabs. Open holding tabs, and you can see I've got them at 10 millimeters long. You need to look at the SheetCam manual for this, or get out of Les, he'll help you out. So it's all there, and it is very, very cool, and it's sort of essential when you're doing this sort of work on these pieces. So there you go. All you do with this now is get your little disc cutter out, nick those tabs. You can see them there. I could have probably got away with smaller tabs, but can't be bothered. It's set at 10. We use it at 10 for pretty much everything. So I don't tend to mess around too much, because otherwise the guys will come in and they won't know that I've reset the tabs, and yeah, and you know, whatever ensues. So there we go. That's how we do that. Then I just do a normal cut off here, and then move the length of material along and just keep cutting. Obviously make sure it's parallel to the rail. Tape measure, make sure it's parallel to the rail, and allow as much overcut as you can here and there, because it will move if you do not put in those holding tabs. So I hope that is a useful bit of information. I find it works superbly, and you can get away with surprisingly few tabs. But there you go. That is it. So I hope you've enjoyed that. I'll just doom walk back over here a second and just fill you in on there you go. Look, these are ones that are just been nicked out with the disc cutter. You can see little disc cut mark. It's not going to matter because these are going to be mullered, so I'm going to be too particular. Yeah, I'm going to be too fussy with them. Anyway, there we go. Now back to this one. This was my little project I talked about in the last big video. We've actually got the rams back in, and it works. I am sort of gobsmacked that it works, because it was such a risk to spend better part of £1,000 getting these rams resealed without really knowing whether it worked. I mean, we've cleaned it up a little bit, cleaned out all in there, and a few other places. We had to make, I wish I'd videoed it, but in there are some wear blocks, and we had to make some to get those to work. I don't know whether we're going to be able to fire it up. Let's see. Oh, yeah, oh, there's life there. It's a strange setup. Anybody who knows anything about these, then, you know, feel free. Let's get in here. Feel free to let me know, because generally this all makes sense, except on this machine, because there's been an aftermarket addition on there. So the start button's straightforward. That's just your tooling retract. That's your different speeds. That makes sense. This doesn't work. It just doesn't work, but there we go. I think it's probably to do with somebody at some time has done all these add-ons, because that is an add-on with these limit switches. That's factory, I believe, which is another set of limit switches. Here's our pressure gauge and pressure knob. This is our depth gauge, which is a huge amount of hard work. Really could do motorizing that. You've no idea how much hard work that is. But this is it, and it's good to go. So it lives. And this is, we need to switch it to a different setting. Number 3 setting, apparently. And it works a little bit on the noisy side. It works. So I don't know what the noise is all about. I don't think it's anything particularly serious, but if you have a look again, you'll see. So there you go. I wanted to show you that. That is as far as I've got with it. We have got to order the tooling now. The tooling is going to be about £3,000 to put something in that big old gap here, so that we can bend stuff up. But as I think I've said before, this machine was pretty much given to me. So for me to spend £1,000 on resealing the rams, and they will outlive me, and to spend a couple of grand on some tooling that we want specific for our jobs, then I think it's a good investment. So there we go. That's an update on that one. As soon as I get some more tooling, there's intermediate tooling that goes in here. There's obviously the base tooling. There's lots of stuff to look at with this. We've got to check it and check it for all oil leaks and what have you. And at some point, I'm sure that Mr. HSC is going to come around and say, "Where's your light guard?" Well, at that point, it just might end up having a sticker saying out of order on it. I don't know. To see what happens. Can't keep throwing money at this because it's, you know, it can be a money pit. But there you go. That's the update on that. Now, as always, if you've enjoyed the video, if you could like and subscribe, really appreciate it. I'm trying to put better titles together and better descriptions together to make it a little bit more YouTube friendly. I'd like to pick up more subscribers, because I think what I'm doing is, there's a lot of people showing you their machines working, there's a lot of people showing you how to build machines and what have you, but this is a genuine working company that is building the machine to do the job. And some of our customers are fairly, I wouldn't say fussy, but prestigious type customers. We do an awful lot of work for them, and I just want it right, and I'm properly fussy. There's a job over here, for instance, this job here, which I alluded to in a short that I did recently. There's 68 little bookshelves, separators there. They got to go out on Monday, which they will. I've just got to put 2 folds in them and we'll be done. And that is for a local company, shop fitting type company, who are, they're fussy but for good cause, because they are brilliant. They're very, very good. So there we go. I do have a few other things that while I've got your attention, We've been doing some old school railing work. If we come out here, all of these are heat shrunk on. There's no welds and no welds. So all of this, so there we go, from the top and the underneath. I don't know whether you can see, no welds at all, and it is all solid stuff. So that's for a customer of mine. This is what they brought in, and this is what's going to be going out. So I thought I'd just show you that one. Anyway, there we go. Let's do the doom walk back into the shop, just for shits and giggles, and back to the machine that kind of started all of this, really. So thanks very much for watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to send them through to me. I do my best to answer, as I always say. Sometimes it's a bit difficult. Take today, it's Saturday at nearly 12 o'clock. Been in here since nearly 5, and I'm tired. What else can I say? I'm tired. I'm going to cut out the rest of these out of that last length that's down there. You can see it grey side up there. And I'm going to go home and have a beer. And it's so hot. We're having a little bit of a heat wave outside. It's around about 31, 32 degrees in the shade now. And that's centigrade, by the way, for our American guys. Which is not hot in the grand scheme of things, but when you're in this workshop and you're plasma cutting and you're welding and you're lifting steel around, it's bloody hot. So anyway, take care, and like I say, please like and subscribe, and it just spurs me on to do more and more content, more interesting stuff. So take care now and stay safe.